I think it's crazy to do this sport at the level that we do and not believe in yourself, almost delusionally.
High shots in the bottom, and a black.
Now that I reached the top 10 in the world, I want to be in the top 5 in the podium. My mindset doesn't give me any permission to rest or to enjoy it.
I would get on this cycle like in my head, like, oh, I'm not good enough. She's too big. She's too slow. She's not good at gymnastics. She's not a runner. She's not this, she's not that. This isn't necessarily true. I could be like totally fine, like chilling one day and someone would be like, oh, you can't do that. And I'll be like, oh, bet, I'm about to spend the next 6 months of my life showing you that I can.
You need to be conscious about how lucky you are to live this dream as being an athlete. I feel like I am the luckiest in the world. Like the fun that I have every day, I feel like I'm the only one that has that in the field.
This is the year that I'm gonna do everything that I wanted to do, become everything I wanted to be. I would be crazy to dedicate my life and like the amount of time that I do to this sport and not think that like this year is my year. Morning. Say hi. Say hi, buddy. Come on. Hey, come on. My name is Hannah Black. I'm originally from North Carolina and I live in Austin, Texas.
How long have you been in Austin for?
On and off since 2023. I love Austin. Austin is, I would think, like the best of like both worlds. Like there's a lot going on, but the people still remind me of home, like which is North Carolina.
I'm Tim, but I think Hannah Black's boyfriend probably like speeds up this conversation a lot faster.
He's #1 guy in charge, so.
We met competing. I lived in Maryland, and we had a mutual friend that was like, I have this girl that I know, she lives in California, she's really strong. So she came out, we competed together. And like what, a year and a half later, we both moved to Austin. And then she got really good and I didn't.
I eat the same thing every single day, and that is a frozen everything bagel, gluten-free from Trader Joe's. I just meal prep this like egg frittata thing. It's eggs, sweet potatoes, and vegetables. I couldn't imagine like waking up and not knowing what I was gonna eat. Like, couldn't imagine thinking about that instead of like what's coming next. Like what workout I have to do or like where I have to be like on a certain time. My brain would not be able to like handle all of that. So yeah, I eat literally almost the same thing every single day. I also love coffee, but I usually won't drink anything with like milk in it if I'm about to run because it usually doesn't mix.
My name is Aniol Ekai. I was born in Pamplona, which is one of the biggest cities here in Spain. But I was raised in Blanes, which is like a small town up north in Barcelona.
It's Wednesday. I was hoping to have a better sleep, but I was nervous from Barca, and I feel like that stressed me out, so I didn't really sleep as I wanted.
Do you usually eat the same breakfast every day?
Not the same, but it's pretty similar. I usually eat either omelette or some Spanish ham. 160 grams of bread, which is more or less 3 slices, big slices that I have. And then pineapple, and then smoothie.
4 years ago I moved here to San Sebastian, that's where we are heading right now. And I've been here living in San Sebastian and training in CrossFit Tarauz for the last 4 years.
We were living actually like 2 blocks around, 2 blocks next to this one, but we didn't have these views. Like we get to see the sea.
My first sport was judo. I first started doing judo when I was like 3 or 4 years old. 2 years later or so, when I was 6 or 7, I started playing football.
I begged my mom to let me play football, and she said no. So I played like basically everything but football. I grew up like playing a sport every season, and I just loved the aspect of like being on a team and working hard, you know, for yourself and like other people. When I was in high school, I knew that I wanted to play a sport in college, and I knew that that required me to learn things like lifting and strength and conditioning and stuff like that. I think it was my sophomore year, my best friend in high school, she was going to a place called MASH Elite Performance. And so we both started going there together. And while I was there, Travis Mash, the owner, taught us how to Olympic lift, and I loved it. I went to junior nationals and like U25 nationals and stuff like that. When I went to college, I played volleyball my freshman year, and then ended up not liking it, so I only played freshman year. When I went back, I started doing Olympic weightlifting.
I've been playing football my whole life. When I was 13, I started also doing tennis. When I was 18, one of the best clubs in my zone asked me to play with them, and I was playing with them for a whole year. That was 2017. But at that point, I was not really focused into football. I was not really enjoying it. At some point in 2018, I just quit football. And then I was just training and working out all day.
I feel like once you go from somewhere like MASH Elite to anywhere else, it's not as fun. And so I didn't enjoy weightlifting in college as much. So then I started doing CrossFit. And that was, geez, I guess 7 years ago now. I would have never guessed that I would have hit a snatch PR in Copenhagen. Just because like a multitude of things leading up, but I don't really like lift anymore, like hardly ever. Which is lame, because that's why I started CrossFit, is like I like to lift. Stop like saying that you're not gonna be a good runner. Like there's no reason that you can't get better at running, and there's no reason that you can't even be like middle of the pack or even closer to the front on running if you like work on it and try hard.
We emailed like a ton of running coaches, like got some feedback, some people ignored us, some people responded. I've researched a lot of Chris Hinshaw's stuff, and I like adjusted it and I plugged it through ChatGPT some and like created this running program. And I was like, listen, starting now, we're just gonna act like we're a good runner.
I've never felt like I had this big step in my career. I feel like I was improving with small steps. Since I first started doing European competitions or international competitions in 2021, I feel like every score or every result that I had in the competition, it was a little bit better than the one before.
What's next?
300s with the vest. What pace?
102% of my 5K, so 720 to 725.
3, 2, 1, go.
In 2023, when I had my breakout year, I had a local coach here, and he said, okay, to get ready for team quarterfinals, I want you to sign up for individual quarterfinals. And I was like, no. Like I immediately was like, I don't want to do that. That sounds terrible.
Always gonna be looking at her watch. She's never gonna look at the street both ways when she crosses.
If someone hits me, hit me. Like, probably gonna do more damage to your car than this. And then he eventually talked me into it. One of the tests was a 185-pound clean and jerk mixed with burpee box jumps, and that was like a heavy weight for girls. After I submitted that workout, I went from like 200th to like 68th and 60 qualified. Then I ended up getting 62nd that year, and I got a backfill to Pasadena. And I went there, and I was just expecting to, you know, get some experience, have a good time, and that was that. But I kind of opened my eyes to see that maybe I could do this as an individual, which I never thought was possible before that.
Now that I reached the top 10 in the world, I want to be in the top 5 in the podium. My mindset doesn't give me any permission to rest or to enjoy it. Like 2025 season, I was a bit upset that I didn't get the pro card, but actually it helped me out to have some fuel on me, you know, like when doing the qualifiers, I was like, okay, I don't want to qualify, I just want to be the best in the qualifier. And when I was heading to Indianapolis, I was like, I want to beat all these guys that have the pro card, you know?
That went well. I was a little excited at the beginning. I was running a little too fast, but
Like I said, I think the vested runs got my zoomies out, and then I actually ran my pace with the second 10 100s, but it felt good. I don't know, sometimes I overreach with my stride, but I'm learning to be like quicker in a shorter stride. That's actually helped me a lot if I remember to do it. I'll stretch out for a while, and then my second session at the gym, so I'll get to do some echo bike and some really heavy power cleans, which will be fun, and then squatting, and then an EMOM of a couple of different movements like ring muscle ups and I think handstand walk, maybe a few other things.
I'm lucky to have like friends that train with me, not like people that train and then we hang out. It's more like we are friends and then we train.
The environment that we have in CrossFit Zaragoza is really important. We are a really good group of friends. We are always happy to see each other, and not only inside the gym but outside the gym we have plans and we have a coffee, we go dinner, we go hiking, or we go to the beach. So we have like a really good relationship. Whenever I have a bad day, they come to me and they help me out. Whenever I have a problem outside the gym, they help me out, as I am doing for them. Whenever you start doing any sport, calling yourself a professional, it's not easy.
I first heard of WFP, I was super intrigued because I think anyone who does CrossFit competitively wants to get to a point where they're getting paid.
You're getting paid for competing, like as is in every other sport, like this is the next step for fitness.
I knew I wanted to do the qualifier. Hannah Black, World Fitness Project qualifier 3A and 3B. Long story short, I put my score in wrong for the first tour in Indianapolis and I didn't qualify. I got an email, I don't know, like a couple weeks later saying that my score was adjusted, and I didn't even read it because I was pissed. I was like, I didn't even make it. Why are you adjusting my score? That's crazy. Funny enough, my boyfriend actually read it and he was like, no, like they adjusted your score and you did qualify now. And I was like, what?
When I got to Indianapolis, it was good. I loved the city and I was feeling like really with energy, but I had some personal problems, so I was not really focused on training. This is probably my worst performance in a long time because I didn't feel quite myself in any workout. 21st place is all I have.
So I went to Indianapolis as a challenger, not even like a pro challenger, just as a challenger, so like the step down. I ended up getting third there, and then I had to go pro for the second tour to even like have a shot at going to Copenhagen.
How often you train with Hannah?
How often do I train with Hannah?
I've been trying to get them to do more with me. I usually just work out by myself, but when it's
Whenever I
especially
can.
bad, I'm like, you guys have to do it too. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so terrible, do it with me. I haven't washed these
I was like up,
a
down,
single
up, down,
time since
up,
I've
and I
had
just
them, and I've
slide
had
my
them
thumb
for like
and snap, and I saw
2.5
it
years. I'll probably never wash it. They don't smell the best, but hey, that's the price we're gonna have to pay. These are 15 years old. And if the shoelace comes untied, which like I don't untie my shoes, I just slip my feet in, the day is ruined. Like it's over. Like I'm not gonna do what I was supposed to do that day. Like there's no way. 2025 season, I was expecting more people to compete like as much as I was, and turns out almost no one did that. The type of athlete that I am, it's gonna come down to the programming, so the more events that I do, the better for me. And I think there was a stretch in May where I did Indianapolis, then I did TFX the next weekend, then the next weekend I traveled to Australia, and then the next weekend I competed at Torian. So it was like the whole month of May I was traveling or competing, which was crazy.
For the volume of competitions that people are really concerned, like honestly, I don't really mind. And of course there's the travel, but it's part of the job. I feel like this is a job, and if you are not ready to perform when you have to perform, it's because you are not good at your job. to show up, to expose yourself. That's also a mental process that you have to do that. You need to be conscious about how lucky you are to live this dream as being an athlete.
My brain like works in numbers. Like I got my graduate degree in biomechanics and motor control, and that's basically just applying like a measurement to the human body and like your power output. So it's just when everything like has a number and you can like research it, and like every like cause has an effect and like things like that. And I really like that because that means like there's an answer for everything. Like if you have the formula and you have like the variables. And so I think CrossFit lends itself really well to data and to be measured. And because it's like, I know the output I'm putting on the bike, I know the weight I'm lifting, like I know the amount of reps and stuff. And so it's really cool because you can study that and then you can build like a really well-informed training plan around that. And so it's like, I'm always trying to like quantify like what it takes to do something, and like in my head, like if I can quantify it or like make it make sense, then like I'm all for it. But it's the things that have like a bit of gray area that I don't understand. But yeah, CrossFit's a really cool sport because it's so measurable.
In my mind, I have like 10 competitions. Hopefully I can do them all. The preparation was really good. I think it was the best preparation that I've ever had. My worst finish was a 17th place in the run, and since then I was just climbing all the way and I had some good finishes. When I finished it in the 7th place, I was like, this is great. Probably my best performance in the competition.
It's probably like my best indie performance that I've like ever had. There's like 2 or 3 workouts that were bad for me, and I still did pretty well in them, which was cool. And then I got a clean PR. I won an event on my birthday, which was crazy. And everyone saying happy birthday to me, which is still like one of the coolest experiences like of my life. When you learn to challenge your thoughts, then you can kind of like rewire your brain. Am I holding on to something that isn't serving me? And if so, like why? And then also like, I'm allowed to like think a thought and then just let it go. I would get on this cycle like in my head, like, oh, I'm not good enough, or like, you know, like being down on myself or thinking, like comparing myself to someone else or things like that. I can realize like, wait, hold on a second, like this isn't necessarily true. I even have a note in my phone full of things that other people have said about me, like she's too big, she's too slow, she's not good at gymnastics, she's not a runner, she's not this, she's not that. And I read that like as motivation sometimes. Basically like almost reframing what people say about you and using it kind of like as fuel for the fire.
Because I am no one, like I don't have special gift, I don't feel like I had any abilities, like I just worked since the very first day and I had fun and I shared the journey with all my friends. I feel like I am the luckiest in the world, like we have fun, we grind, like whenever we are doing the workout, we are not talking, right? The fun that I have every day, I feel like I'm the only one that has that in the field. I am very lucky with the environment that I have.
¡Voy por vosotros, Yankees! So pumped, like close to failure on the rings. When I was handstand walking, my triceps were so bad. I've never finished the workout thinking, oh, this is good enough to win. Like I can be satisfied with some executions, but I'm never really happy. I feel like the only time you can feel it's enough is when you win an event in a competition. But if not, it's never enough.
My mindset heading to Copenhagen finals was like, I'm gonna prove myself that the result that I had in Phoenix was not luck. The competition started really bad because I'm a really bad swimmer. I was climbing up the whole weekend. And finally, I think I finished 14 or 15 in the finals itself, but overall I was 10th.
It was a long road up to Copenhagen, but I think after Mesa, I had so much confidence in myself. Like another event that I kind of got some like redemption on was the running, rope climbs, and clean workout.
Hannah Black.
And I kept telling my coach Perrin, I was like, what if I miss the last bar? Like, what if this, what if that? And she was like, you just have to go out there and like do what you know you're capable of doing. And I run my pace, I do great at the rope climbs, and I smoked the last bar at 2:42, which that's redemption. Like that's shows that we're on the right track and that I'm moving towards like that type of athlete that I want to be. Punching that ticket for a pro card in 2026 was so cool because I was like, wow, like I can call myself a professional athlete. Like I'm making money doing what I love.
If I get injured at some point, or if I don't feel well in a weekend, I still have more opportunities to compete. This is a proof that I am worth this money or I am worth this contract because I've earned it.
With my famous chocolate chip cookie recipe, this is like crack. Like I had to get it out of my house or I was gonna eat all 6 of them.
Is that for you?
It only makes 6.
This is how I bribe Nate.
I basically ate a cake last week.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I started CrossFit so that I could eat more. And then I just like kept doing it. So I grew up weightlifting and I counted my macros starting at 15. So like I cut weight, counted macros, like weighed all my food for like 10 years. So then when I started CrossFit, I worked with a couple of nutritionists and then I got with CBG and theirs is like, it's like looser. Like it's like you eyeball a lot of stuff. So it's not like your whole life is weighing stuff out, which has honestly been better for me. Cause there's been times where it's like been really toxic to do that. Like right now I'm on a cut because I did an in-body, or not an in-body, a DEXA scan last week. And it said that I have 150 pounds of skeletal muscle mass on my body, which like some of my competitors don't even weigh 150 pounds. In CrossFit, like when you're doing things like such high intensity, like more muscle means you need more oxygen. Like I can't keep up. Like scientifically, I shouldn't be able to keep up. So we're trying to cut like, I don't know, like 5 pounds of muscle at least, but we'll see what happens.
Now that I have the pro card and I am in 10th place, I want to be in the top 5 or top 3.
I'm really excited to be going to London. Last year, I was not as confident and I was like, oh, I just barely made challenger. Or, oh, I just barely made pro. But this year it's like, I'm locked in as a pro. So now I can like actually put my head down and work really hard and take some chances. I'm not showing up there playing it safe.
To beat James Sprague, you have to be as mentally driven as he is. I feel like his best ability is to always think that he is the best, you know, to always approach a workout with enough confidence. If I want to beat him, I need to be mentally focused and mentally driven the whole year.
Do you think 2026 is your year?
100%. You have to believe it yourself before it ever happens. This is the year that I'm gonna do everything that I wanted to do, become everything I wanted to be. I would be scared if I was going up against me in 2026.